I thought our guys played really hard. Didn't always play perfect, but really played hard. Practiced hard during the course of the week. If there's a team that deserved to win a football game, I certainly thought our team did today. How much they came in the locker room prior to the game, at halftime. These guys, to the best of their ability, really gave it their all. I'm so darn proud of the way they hung in there right till the very, very, very last seconds of the football game. As far as I know, we want to get to the 2-point play. That was obviously my decision. It was something that we were talking about literally from the beginning of the second half, right down to the final moments of the game. We just felt like if we went into an overtime situation, we would get potentially into a kicking battle. And obviously our kicking game isn't the best at this moment in time, and felt like we could put the ball in the hands of our best players. Guys who've made plays for us not only today but consistently through the season. So that was the thought process. Nothing really more, nothing really less than that.
Charley, what was that play? What was the ideal scenario? What were you looking? Who was the first option, and where did it break down?
Well, the first option was to get the ball to Tajay, who came across fast to the strong flat. He was matched, and Elgin came over the top, Elgin Long, and he was, at least from our perspective, he was open at least for a moment. And the ball was just I don't know if the quarterback had somebody in between him and the receiver that he had to put too much air under the ball, or it was just an overthrow. I can't answer that, but it could happen in the on the 2-point play. It could have happened in overtime. It just happened to happen then.
Would you say to them in the locker room?
I just told them how proud I was, how hard they fought. I expected that they would do it, but they really wanted to win. And I was just the way that they hung in there. They stayed so positive through the course of the game, and even in the locker room. I mean, they're a great bunch of guys right now, and I'm really, really proud.
So is that go for 2 at home strategy something you'd normally agree with anyway, regardless of the kicking game situation?
No, not necessarily. I mean, sometimes you feel good about your kicking game, whether his average, his consistency. You say, we'll get it if it comes down to that. Our kicker's as good as their kicker, and we'll go from there. But I just felt right now, why put it in the hands or on the foot of a guy who the last time he was out there on the field was unsuccessful. I knew we could make the PAT. That wasn't the issue. It's just when you get into overtime, a lot of times it just comes down to field goals.
Is Levin Good your kicker next week?
Well, I can't answer that, Matt. I don't know. There's a lot of. It'd be easy for me to say that right now, emotionally, but we'll go back and we'll look at those guys again. We've had lots of competition over the last several weeks, and at the end, Blake just keeps coming out ahead. But sometimes you just have to go with. Sometimes in a game, guys perform differently than they do in practice. So we'll talk about it and evaluate as we go forward.
I guess what I meant by the question was more, is practice something that can give you enough indication to make that decision for next week?
Well, so many times it can. It does. That's how you pick your starting lineup. That's how you pick your backups. What you see in practice, and then you go through your games and you tweak things as you go. But I've said it before as I've sat here in front of you. I've had a lot of confidence in Blake. Just at that moment, just the way it was today, we just felt like to put the ball in his hands again, so to speak, was unfair to him. His mindset wasn't very good, and Levin Good hasn't kicked a field goal this year, and felt like going for 2 was the best thing. If we're still talking about that. When
Blake missed the field goal, did that cement the going for 2 is one lead?
So I don't know if it cemented it, but it sure made me and a couple other coaches that we were having that discussion with pretty well sealed the deal. Yeah.
What did Western do it after halftime to kind of slow things down a little bit? You guys seem to be doing whatever you wanted on offense, and then after the half, things started to kind of mellow down a little bit.
Well, I think I don't know if they did anything as much as just us. It was. I would tell you this: there wasn't much difference in their defensive schematics from the first quarter through the fourth quarter. It was mostly the same things. They didn't come out of their defense to or make some great adjustments.
you say anything to AJ before the last play? Anything
I couldn't
beyond?
because they ran out, they started running off and then they ran back onto the field. There was no, they know the play. It's been practiced many, many times.
Is there any additional anything here losing to a team that had lost every single game so far this season?
Well, if you look at them, that's a pretty good-looking football team. That was a team that grinded us last year, embarrassed us. I'm embarrassed right now as I sit here because anytime I lose, and we lose, I'm embarrassed. But all in all, I think we've made great strides. I don't care what the record is. They've got some pretty darn good football players on their team, and they were a hungry football team. And to their credit, they hung in there too. Easily could have, kind of quit at perhaps after the opening kickoff, and they hung in there too.
You used Woodley in the last drive. It seemed like he was gaining some ground for you today. Is he somebody that has earned himself possibly more?
Well, Lorenzo was playing well up into the Vanderbilt game, and he got injured, and he was becoming more and more part of our game plan. I would tell you this was probably his best week of practice since summer camp. So he's, I can't tell you if he's 100%, but he's well enough that he can really start to show his skills.
It's the most offense you guys have had all year. I mean, does it hurt a little bit more because the offense finally kind of got off the schneid and put up some points, and then to still come away with the loss?
I would just say that regardless of the offensive performance, there's plenty of. It was an improved offense, but certainly we have a ways to go offensively, just like we do in all three phases.
Okay. Anything else?